This is Robyn Nelson from Wrestle Popcast, and my co-host David Stockwell from DemoBlastStudios, and my special guest is the Queen of Extreme, Francine.
Hello, how are you?
How's it going?
I'm doing well here in Fort Wayne with this lovely weather that we're experiencing today. It's horrible, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you find any?
All right. Yeah, great.
Did you find anything interesting in Fort Wayne when you landed?
I did not. No. Do you live here?
No.
It's awful. You live here? Nothing. No offense, but it sucks. But anyway, we went to an Italian restaurant last night, and then we went to a bar called Nathan's.
Okay.
Pub or sports bar? No. Not over with you? Okay. But anyway, it was fun. I had fun, but then I went to bed at 9:30 because I'm hardcore like that. I'm away from my kids and I go to bed at 9:30. Awesome.
Yeah,
Such a mom.
Hey, there's nothing wrong being a mom.
I love it. But yeah, that's what I do.
Tell us about your insane debut at ECW.
My debut?
Yeah, your insane debut.
My insane debut for TV or the house show that I did?
The one where 9/11 choked.
Oh, 911, 9/11. It's 911. Yes. Yeah. So it was the first night Paul was in. He took over for Eddie Gilbert, and I had been working some spot shows, but nothing big because I was training, and. He says to me, this was the first time I was in front of a lot of people, and he says, "Oh, will you take a choke slam?" And I go, "Okay." And I really didn't even know what it was because like we never practiced that or anything in training, so I was just like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I don't care." And they made me a beauty pageant winner.
Yes.
So I come down and I'm doing the weight. I have no idea what's going on, and I'm in this little dress or whatever. And I just rang the bell for like several matches, and then they said, "You don't need a cue. He's just going to grab you." So I said, "Oh, okay." Well, the next thing you know, he grabs me and just brings me in and he gives me the choke slam, and like the whole place just was like, oh. And then it was just like that white noise, like nobody knew what to make of it, you know? And what was great about it was they put me on a stretcher and they took me to the back, but I went right home. Like I didn't even go back to the locker room, so everybody thought I was dead. So that was old school back then, and it worked. So.
You also was in a cat fight with Lita as well.
Oh yeah. When she worked with us, we worked together several times. So I was in a cat fight with a lot of people, men included. So it wasn't just the women, but yeah.
Oh, you were also golden on your promos on the mic. You knew how to talk off a mic real well too.
Yeah, it was quite fun back in the day. I miss it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Go ahead.
So probably one of my favorite tandems, not just in ECW but in pro wrestling period, was one of my all-time favorites, the franchise, Shane Douglas and yourself. There was something about the two of you that, even though Shane was a main eventer before that, the combination with the both of you seemed to take him to a whole other level. Talk a little bit, if you would, about your time with Shane Douglas. Any memorable moments that really stick out on your mind? I know
You're like this. You're like, I'm gonna think.
There's a million.
I'm sure. Just off the top of your head, something that you remember from that time period, because it wasn't an amazing time.
I just remember I thought they were going to put me with Brian Lee. Brian Lee was pitching that he wanted me to be this biker chick, and he wanted me to be with him. So he kept telling me, you're going to leave the Pitbulls, you're going to be with me. So I was like, okay. I just wanted to work. And Brian's a great guy, so I really didn't care. And so I got a phone call from Paul, and he says, "Do you know what I'm going to do with you?" And I said, "Yeah, you're going to be with Brian. I guess I have to go buy these chaps now, because my horrible Pitbull outfit's the pleather. I hate it. It's not me." And they made me wear it. And then I'm going from pleather to chaps, which I wasn't thrilled. And he goes, "Who told you that?" And I said, "Brian told me that." He says, "Don't listen to Brian." And I said, "Oh, well, who am I going to be with?" And he says, "Shane." And I said, "Shane, that's pretty major, you know." And he says, "Just, I'll tell you tomorrow what's going on." And told me about the table spot and the turn and everything. And we built up to it. If you're familiar with the show, yes. we gave little hints here and there, and then and we did the turn. And he always called us JR and Sue Ellen from Dallas.
I'm from South Fork.
Yes, because like Tommy and Bueller were Bobby and Pam.
Okay.
And we were the heels, so we were JR and Sue Ellen.
That's perfect.
And yeah, we were together like 3.5 years. Everybody thought we were together, and we were never together. To this day, people come to me in conventions and say, how's your husband? And I go, he's fine. And they go, how come he's not signing? And I go, well, wait, who am I married to? And they say, oh, Shane. And no, I was never with Shane. Everybody believed that we were together. So, I mean, we just had really crazy chemistry.
I mean, that's a testament to both of you for being able to convince
the locker room.
Well, exactly, exactly.
You like the locker
Well,
room?
I didn't like it because he was married at the time, so it made me look like a big whore, and I'm not. So, I mean, I'm not. I'm really not. But, you know, if you can fool the boys, you can fool anybody, and that was what we were going for, and it worked. So
it's nearly, if not completely impossible, to talk about ECW without talking about the mad genius himself, Mr. Paul Heyman,
Yes.
formerly known as Paulie Dangerously. Thoughts on working for Paul? Obviously, he gave you a big opportunity, but obviously folks over the years have had some interesting things to say about Mr. Heyman. If you'd be so kind to share your thoughts on Mr. Heyman.
I will never, ever say a bad word about Paul. If it wasn't for Paul and his vision, I wouldn't be standing here. So despite everything that happened, there'd be no me without him. And I appreciate everything. Even when I worked for WWE with the fake ECW, he tried to help me there. I mean, I have nothing but good words to say about that man.
Sure.
So,
Robyn, any other questions?
what you got?
Go ahead, buddy.
So when you were with the Pit Bulls, okay, I'm just gonna
Thank you for that, by the way. I was trying
okay.
to be nice. And
Yeah, I'm
talking.
trying to be okay.
You're talking.
So when you were with like the Pit Bulls in the ring,
Yes.
what was it like when they finally slammed you through a table?
What do you think it was like? It sucked. It wasn't fun. That, to me, because I always wanted to work. And I never wanted to be the girl that came in because her boyfriend worked there. Like, I didn't know a soul when I signed up for this. Like, I saw a commercial on television, and I called the number and literally had to go down and meet Todd Gordon at a pawn shop and be buzzed in the door. Like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what a bump was. I never met anybody in the organization. So I really wanted to work and just prove myself. So when they mentioned the table spot, I was paranoid, scared to death, but I couldn't wait to do it because I thought, this is gonna solidify my role in this company. And I think once I went through the table, I gained people's respect. So I'm happy I did it.
Awesome.
Even though it hurt, but it's okay. I'm alive.
Okay, your most memorable moment in your career, and did you have any regrets?
I think the thing that stands out in my mind is the first pay-per-view that we had. If you saw Beyond the Mat, you saw
Yes,
Paul's
yes.
speech. To this day, it still rings true in my head. Like, that to me was so important to our company and important to everybody just as a whole. And I'll just never forget that night, because to us, that meant we made it. We were on pay-per-view. So that stands out the most for me. And, I'm sorry, what was the second question?
Did you have any regrets? Yes.
I've had a few, but then again, no. I think because I'm 46 years old and I am like full of arthritis and like I haven't done half the stuff that the guys have done, but my body is just shot. Maybe if I would have listened to my mom, I probably would have quit and done something else with my life. So in a way, I kind of wish I did, and in another way, I'm so blessed that I'm in this crazy business. But I just wish I felt good. You know what I mean? Like, it takes its toll on your body. But I'm one of the lucky ones. So, I mean,
By the way, you aged very beautifully.
Oh, well, you should have told me this morning before I put the war paint on. But thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
One more question. If you could change anything about pro wrestling today, what would you change and why?
If you would have asked me this question like a couple of years ago, I probably would have had an answer. But I think, I was going to say there isn't enough competition, but I think now things are starting to turn, and they're going to turn for the better. And it's always good when you have a bunch of companies because there's places to work, and there's so many workers out there who deserve spots. So I just feel like especially with like Cody and the Bucks doing that All In, that was amazing. Like, nobody has ever done that before. If they can keep that up and we can get another promotion, it's just somebody needs to like put Vince against the wall and challenge him. And I mean, there's a couple companies that, ROH is out there, and you never know. There could be another big three in the future. So that's exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got one last question.
Sure.
We're on the eve of WWE's first ever all-women's pay-per-view, Evolution.
Yes.
So a lot of people try to pinpoint when the women's revolution began. For me, I believe it started back with Sherri Martel, because I feel like she transcended being a wrestler, being a manager, being a valet. She did it all. You very much carried on that tradition with what you did with ECW. Just briefly, if you could share your thoughts on the changes to women's wrestling, the perception, and where you see it going in the future.
I agree with you. I mean, Sherri, Medusa, Luna, like all those women, and even before, like May and Moolah, you know, it goes back. I mean, with Sherri, she was my woman. Like, I loved Sherri. Sherri and Sean were my team. Like, that's what drew me in the beginning to WWF at the time, that pairing. And I was trying to emulate Sherri Martel and Woman. Like, I put those two together. I wanted to be like sexy, like try to be sexy like Woman, but I wanted to bump like Sherri, because she was awesome. And one of my first nights in ECW at the arena, Sherri was there. And like my heart, I couldn't breathe, because I was like, oh my gosh, it's Sherri. And I went up to her and I introduced myself, and she's like, I can't wait to work with you, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And then she never came back. And I was just like, I never got to work with her. And unfortunately, then she passed away. And it was heartbreaking, because it was my idol in the business. And I just wanted to work with her so bad. And when she said she wanted to work with me too, I was like, yay, because I was so green. I wanted to learn from her, because I watched her for so many years. But I mean, women have evolved, especially with WWE. Now they went from bra and panty matches, and now they have their own pay-per-view. I mean, kudos to everybody involved. It's awesome. I just hope it keeps continuing for them, because they deserve it.
Absolutely. Francine, thank you so much for taking your time here. We're at Heroes and Legends Wrestling, number 11. Thank you, Jason Maples, for making this particular interview possible. Robyn Nelson from Wrestle Popcast.
Yes.
Any final words, buddy?
Yes.
My chop.
Hey, chop me hard. No, wait. Do one chop. Go ahead. You can do a chop. Go ahead.
That was a light one.
And that was the light one. She was being easy. All right, do one more.
No, forget it. Just do it.
Yeah. Thank you for.
He's all discombobulated.
I know I'm discombobulated, because she's like, slap me. Sorry. Hey, I got slapped by Francine. You know, hey.
Could be worse.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to Wrestle Popcast, and you can follow me on Spreaker.com, Spotify, and iHeart Radio. Everybody have a great afternoon.